Hybrid Warfare, Future and Technologies. Introduction. What is hybrid warfare? The introduction of the book explains that modern warfare has changed. Today, battles are not always fought with guns and soldiers alone. Instead, countries and groups are using a mixture of strategies like cyber attacks, fake news, economic pressure, political manipulation, and traditional military force. This mix is called hybrid warfare. It allows enemies to cause damage, influence politics, or gain power without starting a traditional war. Why it matters today. Hybrid warfare is dangerous because it blurs the lines between peace and war. A country may not even realize it's under attack until serious harm has been done. Unlike regular wars, hybrid tactics are often quiet, hard to detect, and hard to respond to. That makes them attractive to countries that want to avoid direct conflict while still achieving their goals. Who uses hybrid warfare? The book highlights that not only powerful countries but also non-state actors, such as terrorist groups, hackers, and private military companies, can use hybrid methods. Some governments support these groups secretly to hide their involvement. This makes the threat even more complicated, as it is hard to know who is behind an attack. The role of technology. Technology plays a huge role in hybrid warfare. Tools like drones, artificial intelligence, deepfakes, satellites, and the internet allow attackers to influence minds, gather intelligence, and damage critical systems from far away. Technology helps attackers stay hidden, act quickly, and affect large populations without using traditional weapons. Challenges in defense. One of the biggest problems with hybrid warfare is that it doesn't follow the rules of traditional conflict. Countries often struggle to respond because attacks are confusing, come from many sources, and happen in different areas at once, online, in politics, in the media, and on the battlefield. Governments and security forces need to work together across all areas, military, digital, economic, and social, to stop these threats. A new way of thinking. The introduction argues that we need a new strategy to deal with this kind of warfare. It's no longer enough to just build strong armies. Countries must protect their digital systems, control misinformation, guard their economies, and train citizens to spot manipulation. Intelligence gathering, international cooperation, and quick response systems are key to defending against hybrid attacks. Chapter 1. Competition and Conflict. Understanding the new nature of war. This chapter sets the foundation by explaining how conflict in the 21st century has evolved. Traditional warfare, which focused on armed battles between states, has been replaced in many cases by hybrid warfare, a combination of different techniques aimed at creating confusion, weakening nations, and achieving goals without full-scale war. The gray zone. One of the key ideas presented is the gray zone, a space between peace and war where actions are aggressive but not always clearly recognized as acts of war. This includes things like cyber attacks, spreading false information, economic manipulation, and use of irregular forces. Because these actions often fall below the threshold of war, they make it harder for nations to respond decisively. Case examples. The chapter references modern examples such as election interference, manipulation during the COVID-19 pandemic, and cyber operations used to disrupt infrastructure and economies. These examples show how conflict is no longer limited to battlefields, it now targets societies, politics, and digital systems. Chapter 2. A Framework for Analysis. Multi-domain threats. This chapter presents a structured way to understand and analyze hybrid warfare. It introduces a multi-domain concept, recognizing that hybrid threats operate across several areas at once: military, cyber, economic, political, legal, and informational. These tactics are not random, they are coordinated and strategic. How hybrid warfare works. Hybrid threats often begin with misinformation, followed by cyber attacks, and may escalate into economic sabotage or limited military operations. The purpose is to create instability, doubt, and division within the target country, while avoiding direct confrontation that would trigger a conventional military response. Blurred lines. The framework emphasizes how hybrid warfare blurs traditional lines between civilians and combatants, between public and private actors, between internal and external threats. This complexity makes hybrid warfare harder to detect and counter because it doesn't fit into old models of war. The need for a comprehensive response. Because these threats are diverse and operate in many fields, the chapter argues that countries must use whole-of-government and even whole-of-society approaches. Defense isn't just the military's job, it includes cybersecurity experts, diplomats, economists, media professionals, and citizens. Chapter 3, Likely Actors. Who uses hybrid warfare? This chapter explores who is most likely to engage in hybrid warfare and why. It includes both state actors such as Russia, China, Iran, and non-state actors such as terrorist groups, cybercriminals, and private military contractors. These actors use hybrid tactics because they are less costly than conventional war. They allow plausible deniability. They are effective at weakening adversaries from within. Technology and accessibility. Technology has made hybrid warfare more accessible. Tools like social media manipulation, hacking tools, and cheap drones can now be used by almost anyone. As a result, even small states or non-government groups can launch impactful hybrid attacks against larger, more powerful nations. Strategic goals of hybrid actors. Hybrid warfare actors typically aim to undermine confidence in democratic institutions, cause confusion and political polarization, slow down or paralyze decision-making, project power without starting a war. Examples of known hybrid campaigns. The chapter references known campaigns, such as election interference through social media in democratic countries, use of proxy groups in regional conflicts, cyberattacks targeting government and infrastructure. These examples highlight how hybrid warfare is already shaping global security in real time. Chapter 4 Technology as a strategic driver. 1. Rapid technological change. The chapter opens by highlighting how technologies like 5G, edge computing, satellite constellations, and pervasive sensors are not just innovations, they are revolutionizing how operations are conducted on a tactical, strategic, and societal level. These technologies compress decision-making timelines, enable remote activation of systems, and blur the lines between physical and digital spheres. 2. Networked C4I ecosystems. Central to hybrid warfare is the evolution of C4I command, control, communications, computers, intelligence into networked ecosystems. Soldiers, drones, command centers, satellites, and surveillance systems are all interconnected, generating massive data flows. AI-powered analytics separate signal from noise, enabling near real-time responses and increasing operational flexibility. 3. Digitalization of battlefield assets. Tanks, ships, and aircraft are transforming into software-defined platforms, where malfunctions, remote hacking, or software patches have direct tactical consequences. Autonomous systems, from loitering munitions to juggernaut drones, are increasingly integrated into conflict zones, capable of executing objectives with minimal human oversight. 4. Civilian infrastructure as a target. Hybrid actors now treat civilian networks, telecom, power, financial systems as valued targets. Disrupting or spoofing these systems can deteriorate economic stability, sow chaos, and force governments to focus internally rather than externally. 5. Implications for defense strategy. The chapter frames this integration of technology and warfare as a strategic inflection point. Rather than individual weapons platforms, success now depends on integrated systems, resilience, and data mastery. Militaries and governments must rethink procurement, training, doctrine, and coalition structures to operate in this new environment. Chapter 5:19 Technologies Reshaping Hybrid Warfare. This chapter delves into 19 transformative technologies shaking the foundations of modern conflict. Each promises to alter the pace, scope, and character of hybrid operations. 1. 5G and beyond. High-speed, low-latency networks empower live updates from sensors, enable tool orchestration at scale, and facilitate civilian surveillance or sabotage. 2. Additive manufacturing, 3D printing. Rapid production of spare parts or munitions, potentially off-grid, reduces reliance on supply chains and boosts covert production. 3. AI and machine learning. Automates target detection, filters intel in real time, and drives semi-autonomous weapon systems for fast, precise action. 4. Autonomous drones and robotics. Swarms of aerial, ground, or marine drones can overwhelm defenses, carry out reconnaissance, or deliver munitions with minimal risk to operators. 5. Biotechnology. Gene editing and bioengineering can fuel information warfare and pathogen weaponization, raising biosecurity concerns. 6. Cloud and big data analytics. Massive data processing enables pattern recognition for preemptive awareness and predictive conflict modeling. 7. Cyber and EU electronic warfare. Digital jamming, hacking, signal disruption, and stealth malware are core hybrid tactics that mix cyber and kinetic effects. 8. Blockchain and distributed ledger. Helps secure data, verify asset chains, or hinder sanctions by masking or distributing transactions beyond central control. 9. Directed energy weapons, DEWs. Non-kinetic tools like lasers or microwaves offer precise, speed-of-light defenses against drones or projectiles. 10. Extended reality AR, VR. Advanced training, collective decision environments, and altered field perception, from immersive threat simulation to battlefield overlays. 11. Hypersonic weapons. With unrivaled speed and maneuverability, these weapons can escape existing missile defense systems, compressing reaction time. 12. IoT and ubiquitous sensors. Civil devices, phones, cameras, internet-connected machines, become tools for surveillance or battlefield reporting. 13. Microelectronics. From radars to weapons, compact sensors equipped with advanced chips create a dense node network for sensing and control. 14. Nanomaterials. Provide strength, invisibility coatings, miniaturized sensors, or self-healing systems, all netting stealth, resilience, or advanced armor. 15. Nuclear modernization. Enhancements like tactical nukes, resilient delivery mechanisms, or next-gen warheads shift the strategic calculus. 16. Quantum technologies. Offers unhackable communications, new computing power to crack encryption, or quantum sensors for detection. 17. Space-based assets. Satellites offer ISR intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, secure timing, and global communication, critical for hybrid operations. 18. Robotic systems integration. Platforms working in collaborative swarms, e.g. combined air-ground units, create networked kinetic effects without central operators. 19. Other emerging tools. Examples include neural interfaces, edge AI chips, 3D printed micro-weapons, and new forms of terrain sensing camouflage. Strategic takeaways. These technologies operate in hybrid combinations. Drone plus I plus swarm plus cyber create potent weapon systems. They heighten accessibility, allowing smaller actors to go toe-to-toe with major powers. Data mastery, resilience, and cross-domain integration become the key strategic variable. Western powers may no longer hold technological dominance. Strategic deterrence and defense now require constant innovation and protection. Chapter 6 Maneuvering in the Hybrid Space. 1. The Cognitive Domain and Perception Management. This chapter explores how hybrid warfare often targets the mind rather than territory. Tactics like disinformation campaigns, cyber penetration, and social manipulation are used to warp perceptions, sow distrust in institutions, and destabilize societies, all while avoiding open warfare. 2. Exploiting legal and normative gray zones. Hybrid actors manipulate legal ambiguity, using non-state proxies or paramilitary forces to blur responsibility. By hiding behind plausible deniability, these actors can strike under the radar of international law and avoid triggering military retaliation. 3. Fluid centers of gravity. Unlike conventional war, hybrid conflict shifts focus from military capabilities to social cohesion, critical infrastructure, and public trust. Chapter 6 emphasizes identifying these shifting vulnerabilities and building resilience around them. 4. Multi-domain situational awareness. Success in hybrid warfare hinges on integrating data across cyber, military, economic, and informational domains. The chapter outlines the need for holistic intelligence systems that map how these domains interconnect. 5. Cross-domain targeting and decision support. Rather than siloed responses, hybrid countermeasures require cross-domain coordination, e.g., disrupting cyber operations and countering disinformation simultaneously. Training, simulations, and stress testing protocols are recommended to prepare operational leaders for these challenges. 6. Building resilience to shock. The chapter advises investment in societal resilience, public inoculation against misinformation, redundancy in infrastructure, and legal frameworks for rapid response. It also encourages serious gaming, realistic wargames simulating hybrid crisis situations. Chapter 7 Avenues to adapt. 1. Whole of society approach. Defending against hybrid threats requires more than military action. Chapter 7 emphasizes integrating government, private sector, academia, and civil society to share intelligence, coordinate defenses, and develop anticipatory strategies. 2. Technological and organizational innovation. EU, NATO, and national bodies like the European Defence Agency must foster innovation. This includes agile R&D, fast-paced procurement, and tight cooperation with the tech sector to develop hybrid-capable tools and solutions. 3. Preparing decision makers. The complexity of hybrid threats means decision makers need to be trained in cross-domain thinking. Strategic foresight, tabletop exercises, and multidisciplinary staff preparations are essential to handle fuzzy, multi-vector crises. 4. Public-private partnerships. Many hybrid threats, like cyberattacks or infrastructure sabotage, target private networks. The chapter underlines the importance of partnerships where industry shares data with government and jointly develops countermeasures. 5. Policy and legal adaptation. To address hybrid threats effectively, governance frameworks must evolve. Laws governing cyber warfare, misinformation, foreign influence, and proxy engagement must be updated to close loopholes exploited by hybrid operatives. 6. International collaboration. Pooling intelligence, sharing best practices, and building mutual support networks are critical. The chapter calls for joint exercises, trusted communication channels, and shared capabilities across allied nations. Conclusion. The conclusion ties together the book's core themes and lays out a roadmap for how nations should adapt to the evolving reality of hybrid warfare. 1. Hybrid warfare is here to stay. The conclusion reaffirms that hybrid warfare, where cyberattacks, disinformation, covert operations, economic tools, and military power come together, is not a passing trend. It's the new norm in global conflict, used by states and non-state actors alike. 2. Challenge to traditional defense. Traditional military dominance is no longer sufficient. Nations can no longer rely solely on tanks, jets, or big armies. Instead, success depends on the ability to monitor and defend digital infrastructure, counter cyber threats swiftly, manage public narratives and influence operations, coordinate civilian and military responses seamlessly. 3. The need for comprehensive resilience. Resilience now means being prepared across all domains. Societal resilience. Educating the public to discern truth from propaganda, building trust in institutions, and enhancing civic preparedness. Infrastructure resilience. Ensuring backups for critical systems, power grids, communication networks, financial systems, so they can withstand disruptive attacks. Legal and procedural resilience. Updating laws to cover cybercrime, disinformation warfare, and covert influence operations. Final takeaway. Hybrid warfare combines elements of cyberattacks, disinformation, covert operations, economic pressure, and military power. It blurs borders between peace and war, between military and civilian. To navigate this landscape, nations must move beyond traditional defense, embracing technological innovation, legal reform, societal awareness, public-private cooperation, and international alliances. Only through this holistic, integrated approach can we hope to deter and respond effectively to the threats of the 21st century. Annex 1, 5th-generation mobile radio. What is 5G? 5G, short for 5th-generation mobile radio, is a revolutionary cellular network standard, often compared to the impact of electricity. It brings super-fast speeds up to 10 gigabits per second, ultra-low latency approximately equals 1 millisecond, massive device support, and improved energy efficiency. These features support a wide range of applications, like video streaming, connected cities, autonomous vehicles, drones, and industrial automation. Why 5G matters in hybrid warfare. 1. Enabler of AI and real-time systems. 5G allows AI, augmented reality, extended reality, facial recognition, and quantum cryptography to operate seamlessly over mobile networks. Sensor data, from drones or battlefield devices, can be transmitted live to command centers, enabling instant decisions. 2. New critical infrastructure. As governments integrate services like power, healthcare, and transport over 5G, the network itself becomes critical infrastructure and an attractive hybrid warfare target. 3. Command and control backbone. Microsecond latency and high reliability support real-time command systems, ideal for remote-controlled systems, drone swarms, and battlefield Internet of Things (IoT). Security risks and vulnerabilities. 5G relies heavily on software, which introduces numerous entry points for cyberattacks and hybrid interventions. Network virtualization, virtual network slicing, and edge computing make 5G flexible, but also more susceptible to supply chain attacks or software vulnerabilities, especially when devices or core components are built overseas. Component sourcing, especially from countries with contentious tech practices, can introduce hidden risks and espionage vectors. Annex 2. Artificial Intelligence. 1. Overview. AI is a game changer in hybrid warfare. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing how modern conflicts are conducted and countered. In the hybrid warfare context, AI is not just a technological upgrade, it is a strategic enabler that amplifies speed, precision, adaptability, and deception. AI can analyze massive datasets in real time, support autonomous systems, generate synthetic media, and even predict adversary actions. These capabilities make it a force multiplier for both attackers and defenders in the hybrid battlefield. 2. Key applications in hybrid conflict. Decision support and predictive analytics. AI tools can monitor social media, satellite feeds, and cyber traffic to detect anomalies or predict hybrid threats. They enable faster, more informed decision-making by filtering critical data from noise in real time. Disinformation and propaganda. AI is used to create and spread deepfakes, bot-generated content, and algorithmic amplification of false narratives. This manipulates public opinion, destabilizes trust in institutions, and can provoke internal unrest. Cyber defense and offense. On defense, AI detects cyber threats faster than traditional tools, responding to malware or phishing campaigns autonomously. On offense, AI can find system vulnerabilities, optimize attack vectors, and conduct automated penetration testing. Autonomous surveillance and targeting. AI enhances ISR intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance systems, allowing for persistent, adaptive, and coordinated data gathering, especially in hostile or remote zones. It supports automated target recognition and response, reducing human workload in high-speed environments. 3. Strategic implications. Speed and scale. AI-driven systems can react faster than human decision-makers, providing both a strategic edge and operational risks when mistakes occur at machine speed. Deterrence versus escalation. The integration of AI in warfare challenges conventional deterrence models. Nations may misinterpret machine actions as intentional escalation, leading to unintended conflict. Opaque decision-making. AI decisions, especially in deep learning models, can be difficult to explain or trace, leading to potential accountability gaps in warfare scenarios. Global arms race. AI is driving a technological race. Nations that lead in military AI will dominate future conflict landscapes, while others risk dependency or vulnerability to superior systems. 4. Key vulnerabilities. Adversarial attacks. AI systems can be fooled with specially crafted inputs, e.g., images slightly altered to cause misclassification, making them susceptible to deception. Data poisoning. If training data is compromised, AI models can learn the wrong behaviors, potentially turning systems against their operators. Ethical and legal challenges. AI in autonomous weapons and surveillance raises major concerns about civilian targeting, due process, legal accountability, potential violation of international humanitarian law. Annex 3 Autonomous Systems. 1. Overview. The rise of autonomy in modern warfare. Autonomous systems, machines capable of operating without human input, are rapidly transforming both conventional and hybrid warfare. These include unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, ground robots, sea drones, and autonomous cyber agents. Their key value lies in reducing risk to human operators, expanding surveillance and strike capabilities, and executing decisions at high speed in complex environments. 2. Applications in hybrid warfare. Aerial drones. Used for surveillance, precision strikes, jamming, and psychological warfare. In hybrid contexts, drones can be deployed to simulate attacks or provoke reactions without attribution. Naval and underwater drones. Monitor maritime boundaries, disrupt shipping lanes, or conduct stealth operations. Critical for deterring or surveilling underwater cables, ports, or enemy vessels. Ground robots. Assist in urban warfare or hostile terrain without risking human soldiers. Used for logistics, bomb disposal, and reconnaissance in complex environments. Cyber autonomous agents. Autonomous bots can detect and respond to cyber intrusions in real time. Offensive bots can scan, penetrate, and exploit digital systems without direct commands. 4. Strategic implications. Persistent operations. Autonomous systems don't tire or need rest, making them ideal for sustained surveillance or psychological operations. Speed of execution. They operate faster than humans, sometimes beyond human comprehension, creating a decision time gap that adversaries can exploit or misinterpret. Force multipliers. A small military unit can project far greater influence and capability by deploying swarms of autonomous drones or bots. 4. Key challenges and risks. Command and control loss. If comms are jammed or hacked, autonomous systems may behave unpredictably. Accountability gaps. Determining responsibility for unintended harm is difficult when machines act independently. Ethical dilemmas. Use in targeting humans, especially civilians, raises serious legal and moral questions. Spoofing and hacking. Adversaries can hijack or trick systems via sensor manipulation or malware. Annex 4 Quantum Sciences. 1. Overview. A strategic disruptor. Quantum sciences are emerging as the next frontier of power competition, with the potential to disrupt cybersecurity, communication, and computing. This annex focuses on two major areas. Quantum computing. Quantum communication, especially quantum key distribution or QKD. 2. Quantum computing. Superiority in processing. Quantum computers use qubits to process data in exponentially greater ways than traditional binary computers. They could break current encryption RSA, ECC, etc. in seconds. Optimize complex simulations, such as battlefield logistics or energy weapon trajectories. Strategic risk. Once quantum supremacy is achieved, states could decrypt rival nations' secrets, exploit sensitive communications, gain dominance in AI training or defense modeling. 3. Quantum communication. Quantum key distribution QKD. QKD enables unhackable data encryption using principles of quantum physics. Any attempt to intercept the data changes its state, revealing the intrusion. Global security implications. Nations deploying quantum satellite networks will control the most secure communication infrastructure available, ideal for hybrid conflict resilience. Annex 5 Space, the final frontier in hybrid warfare. 1. Overview. Why space matters in hybrid warfare. Space is no longer just a domain for exploration or satellite TV. It has become a military and strategic theater, where control over space-based assets like satellites, sensors, and communication systems can directly influence the success or failure of hybrid warfare campaigns. From GPS navigation to satellite surveillance, modern militaries and critical civilian infrastructure depend heavily on space systems, making them high-value hybrid warfare targets. 2. Key capabilities of space assets. ISR intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. Satellites provide real-time, high-resolution imagery, tracking troop movements, missile launches, and terrain changes. Space-based sensors can detect nuclear detonations, cyber disruption signatures, and covert construction, e.g., underground bunkers. Secure communications. Encrypted, high-bandwidth satellite communication is essential for military coordination, especially in remote or contested zones. SATCOM links ensure continuity of government, emergency response, and command and control systems. Timing and navigation (GNSS). Global Positioning System (GPS) and other GNSS networks are vital for navigation, missile guidance, and synchronized military operations. Civil services like banking, aviation, and energy grids also rely on space timing signals. 3. Threats in the space domain. Kinetic attacks. Direct Ascent Anti-Satellite Missiles (ASATs) can destroy satellites, creating dangerous space debris. Such attacks can blind a military's ISR or disable GPS over wide areas. Cyber intrusions. Hackers can spoof satellite data, jam transmissions, or take over control links. Hybrid attackers may exploit commercial satellite systems due to weaker protections. Electronic warfare. Jamming and spoofing of GNSS signals can disorient forces, crash drones, or manipulate civilian navigation. Even non-destructive interference can create strategic confusion. 4. Strategic implications for hybrid warfare. Space dependency is a vulnerability. The more a nation depends on satellites, the more attractive a target it becomes. Civil-military fusion, e.g., shared satellite use, expands the battlefield to include commercial infrastructure. Space is a force multiplier. Space superiority enables faster information cycles, more accurate weapons, and real-time global awareness. Even low-cost satellite constellations can enhance hybrid capabilities, like persistent surveillance and data relay. Hybrid attacks through commercial channels. Adversaries may exploit commercial satellite providers, cyber vulnerabilities in private networks, or international regulatory gaps to carry out hybrid operations with plausible deniability.